Hello everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another RD2L cast. My name is 5869, and today we've got Team Trash versus Kill Steel Express. These guys wanted a cast of their game live, and I wasn't able to make it. Mostly my fault. Wasn't really paying too much attention to the time, but I know somebody else got it anyways. But I just wanted to go over the VOD, and hopefully we got a fun game here. Maybe they knew it was going to be pretty intense given the fact they wanted somebody to cast it, but it's going to be losing you to you. He's going to be the captain and the drafter over here on Kill Steel Express, and he's going to be drafting up against Ronan up on Team Trash. So a couple of these guys have casted before. Actually, only maybe two or three. Ronan, Wost, Logie, Workspace. I think I've casted some games with them. Some other in-houses. Stuff like that. So looking forward to this. Should be a ton of fun as well. We've already got Undying Gyro, Leshrac, probably top three in terms of first pick ban already taken out there. So I do like that. We'll probably see something like a Lion, Shadow Fiend, perhaps. Maybe Queen of Pain going to be the next ban over here on Kill Steel Express. And then from there, there's still quite a few good heroes left in the pool. I think Earthshaker, Broodmother, Lena, still a fantastic hero. Really, I think we're a little bit more flexible here. The Shadow Fiend is going to be the one to be taken out. So we'll see if Team Trash wants to pick up a Quap. As there's not too many people who could deal with her as well as a Leshrac or a Shadow Fiend would be able to. And surprisingly enough, Kill Steel Express, they're going to take out both those heroes. So we'll see how this goes. It's going to be a Tusk first pick, so definitely a post-ESL tournament. Everybody pretty much on that Tusk hype after Team Secret ran it incredibly effectively over there at ESL1. And really, he's a solid hero. If you can save people in Snowball, his ultimate's pretty good, whether you run him as a support or an offlane. He doesn't really need much farm, maybe just a Blink Dagger and an Earthshaker, a pretty good counter in my opinion. If you could say that, I think, if a couple people are in Snowball and you're looking to snowball to somebody, if Earthshaker's in good enough position, he should be able to get off a nice Echo Slam. Just throw out a Fissure, maybe walk in, or even blink in later on in the game. But still, Tusk, pretty solid hero. Frozen Sigil is actually incredibly strong. I mean, it gives you 120 gold if you kill it, so that should kind of give you an idea of how strong it is. And Ice Shard's, not too bad early game. It's good at getting some nice positioning or holding somebody. And they're going to get a Bristleback as well. So two tanky cores already. I do like this out of Kill Steel Express. They're a little bit afraid of the Tuskar, and three strength heroes, all first pick, so not too often you see that. Usually you see agility or intelligence heroes getting picked up first, but both teams opting for the strength, so we'll see if maybe we're going to see a Timbersaw later on in the game here, but Trash Team, we'll see what they want to grab. I think Trash Team is going to want to take the Witch Doctor, or at least ban it out. Witch Doctor, in the same way that Witch Doctor is good against the Io, he's good against the Tuskar. If he's outside of the snowball range and you snowball in and he doesn't get stunned or he doesn't get controlled in any way and he throws a cask in there, that's pretty team fight losing. I mean, just the stun in general is such a good ability. I know during the summit, No Tail was talking about how good cask can be, and it looks like Trash Team's going to pick up Dazzle, so I would like to see a Witch Doctor ban. They may not think about it, and Kill Steel Express may not even think about picking it up. But either way, I think that's probably a really good option. They're going to get rid of the Lion, so don't want to give them that. The Lion, another good hero. Impale into a Snowball as well is pretty huge. Getting a multi-hero Impale is pretty devastating, honestly. And that's kind of the one drawback to Tusk, is that it's very difficult to say should I snowball or should I not, because if it goes wrong, it could end up in two or more heroes, dying, in which case it doesn't really work out for you, but we'll see how it ends up. The Bloodseeker, another good hero. You throw down the snowball and then Bloodseeker just throws down Blood right, and that's when it gets a little bit scary. If you time it right, of course. Usually when the snowball starts rolling and you throw it down, you should have enough time. They shouldn't be able to just wait it out. But Trash Team really kind of digging into this third ban. They're not really sure what they want to get rid of. Kill Steel Express has only drafted one support and one core. Could be a safe lane solo Bristle or a safe lane tri-lane Bristle, off lane Bristle. I think there's a few possibilities so far. And the thing that a Dazzle kind of gives you is that you can take a greedier mid laner like a Lina, somebody like that who's a little bit easier to gank because you know you've got a Dazzle. You know, Tusk makes it a little bit scary, but Dazzle doesn't really have any lockdown, and if the Tusk is gone and you're a little bit careful of where the snowball could be coming from, you should be able to escape a gank. Whereas for Killsteel Express, you've got an Earthshaker, and even just like a smoke into a fissure is absolutely huge in terms of initiation range. It's almost impossible to see if you go down, you know, in the river as your mid laner and you get caught with the fissure from behind and you're pretty much cut off. Then, I mean, that could be the end of that. But either way, I think Trash Team still has quite a few picks to make up for the lack of CC that Dazzle has here. As we see the Quap getting banned out last here, and the top 3 mid heroes all banned out. So we'll have to see what these mid lanes are going to be. Timbersaw being taken out, so fortunately Timbersaw is going to be banned. I think Timber would have been pretty good against at least Killsteel Express, and perhaps they're thinking about picking up another strength hero, and that's why they want to get rid of him. I think a Dragon Knight would be pretty solid. He's very tanky. He's going to be hard to kill with the physical damage. The negative armor isn't too big of a deal for him because, you know, he's got that passive that's going to be granting him bonus armor, so Dazzle's physical damage isn't all too effective. Tuskar's physical damage so far isn't all too effective, so I think the Dragon Knight would actually be a pretty good pickup here. You don't have to worry about losing your strength to the Timbersaw. It'll give you some more CC, some solid push. If you've got a Bristleback sitting in the front lines, hitting your tower, with a Dragon Form Dragon Knight in the back and an Earthshaker even further back with his initiation range, I mean, that's pretty scary. That's very tough to fight into. And there we go. Killsteel Express gonna pick up the Witch Doctor. I said it would be a good pickup here, and this really makes Snowball pretty scary to want to fight into, or excuse me, to want to use. As if you don't know, if you don't see the Witch Doctor, maybe he's not on the map, or even just a TP reaction from the Witch Doctor. The thing about Snowball is that it gives you, you know, maybe a second or so to react and to TP there while it's kind of building up. Sometimes they don't launch it right away, and if you hesitate even just a little bit, it could spell disaster for your team fight. But I definitely don't think it's game breaking for Trash Team in any way. They still have a pretty nice 2 heroes drafted so far, and we'll see what they want to grab with this third one here. As there's a lot of physical damage coming out from Killsteel Express between the Witch Doctor ultimate, the Bristleback able to output a ton of physical damage. He's got the negative armor there, and even magical damage there. So there we go. Actually, Dragon Knight going to be picked up by Trash Team. So they're saying, hey, there's no Timbersaw. They've got a lot of physical damage as well. We've got some armor bolstering capabilities here with the weave from Dazzle. So why not get somebody really tanky like a Dragon Knight? So I like that Dragon Knight pickup, actually. I would have liked it for either team. I think it's a little bit better actually for Trash Team than it would have been for Killsteel Express. But still, I do like it so far. And now Killsteel Express may be looking to get some more magical burst damage. Perhaps pick up like a Lina to go in that mid lane. And Lina and Dragon Knight, the Lina should probably come out a little bit on top of the Dragon Knight. Both heroes can spam quite effectively if they have a bottle or if the Dragon Knight has a bottle or a soul ring. They can both kind of spam the creep waves quite effectively. But that magical burst and then later on the pure damage burst is going to be pretty huge. I know they do have a Dazzle, so, you know, the Shallow Grave might save him for a little bit. But nevertheless, the Laguna Blade's definitely a fantastic ability. If you time it right as well, the Light Strike Array on top of the Snowball could be huge in terms of winning a team fight. And that just gives you so much CC. None of it going through BKB other than the Laguna Blade, which isn't CC. And it looks like a Phoenix is going to be their pickup here, so that could be pretty cool as well if the Phoenix just throws on the ultimate like right as the snowballs, you know, starting to roll, and then as they come out they're hitting the very end of the supernova and they're getting stunned up, they're taking some more damage. And I like this. So a very Tusk countered draft, I would say, for Killsteel Express so far. And it's most likely going to be a safe lane Bristle over here with the Witch Doctor and the Earthshaker. Could be an off lane. Nah, it's not going to be an off lane Earthshaker, actually. But it will be, yeah, safe lane Bristle. And we'll see who Killsteel Express wants to take mid lane here. As if they want to go 100% against this Snowball, they'll grab something like an OD so they can imprison somebody. That's the Snowball target. OD would absolutely dominate this Dragon Knight. Not only is he a melee hero, but he's a strength hero. He really needs his mana pool to help him lane so he can get out Breathe Fire and stuff like that. So I think an OD would be a pretty good pickup here for Killsteel Express. They don't have a ton of burst damage or anything. You know, Tusk is somewhat deadly against the OD. His ultimate does do quite a bit of damage. But again, if you can Astral yourself and then somebody can TP in like a Witch Doctor, that's pretty huge. And a Vengeful Spirit. So just going more and more into that physical damage. Both teams having a ton of physical damage this game. And armor is going to be king so far. And right now I would say that means that Trash team is kind of a little favored right now. If they can get an early weave on in these team fights, whether it's on their heroes or on the enemy's heroes, it's going to be pretty devastating here. And this Vengeful Spirit also opens up some nice early Roshan potential here. Between the Dazzle, who can dip in there with you, and the Dazzle Dragon Knight Venge, they could kind of sneak in there, maybe pretend to pressure their map, have the Tusk out there, and scaring them a little bit. Wouldn't be too bad here. It's going to be a Silencer as the last ban there. Silencer would have been a pretty good pickup. You know, potentially stop that Supernova, that Death Ward, that Earthshaker ultimate there. And we'll see what Trash Team's going to be throwing in as their last ban as well here, as we're just about to round up the draft and head into the game. Wasn't too long of a game, guys, so if you're worried about maybe a long game, Lean actually going to get banned out. So a hero I thought would be good is going to get banned out here. And again, I think the OD is still a strong pick. Puck would be pretty good as well. That'll give you some, you know, CC that goes through Magic Immunity potentially if you get the Aghanim Scepter. And they're going to pick a Storm Spirit, so not bad. He's going to have a good time against the Dragon Knight. It means Dazzle's going to have to be very selective and be very careful with how he plays with his Shallow Graves here. But we'll see how Trash Team goes. As the thing about Storm is that he's kind of hard to play against Avenge. If you go on somebody that isn't Avenge, he's just going to swap them out potentially. They don't have too much CC again, though, which is pretty huge. So Trash Team should be looking for an offlaner with some nice CC. Perhaps even just like a Centaur. Clockwork wouldn't be too bad against the Storm Spirit. And it is going to be a Centaur there. So a nice Centaur pickup. I think that's not bad. Give you a nice CC. And, you know, somebody a little bit tankier that the Storm's got to think twice about jumping on. And Snowball into the Centaur Stomp is pretty huge here. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. Obviously, well, unless they could be running some dual lanes. It could be dual lanes from Trash Team, which would be, you know, not overly greedy here. But it is most likely going to be a core Tuskar in a tri-lane with the Dazzle and the Venge. That's what I would predict here. I can't see it being a core Venge or you know, even a core Centaur. This will be kind of odd to see how they actually choose to play this one out here. Gonna be pretty cool to see how they want to lane this, or to see what they think is the safest way to lane it here. So here we go. We're just gonna jump right into the game here. Rust, he's gonna be taking up the Vengeful Spirit over here on Team Trash. Ronan not wasting any time, along with Logie and Wost. They're going right to the bottom. Ronan's gonna be taking up the Tuskar heroes. Logie, he's gonna have the Centaur. And Wost, he's going to be on the Dazzle here. So this is what I really like, guys. This is absolutely huge. I know Aoi is huge into telling people that getting out of the base as fast as possible is incredibly important in terms of, you know, early game map control, warding, and potential ganking, which looks like is going to be the play here from Team Trash. Meanwhile, Killsteel Express, Candace is going to be bot lane over here on the Bristleback, and behind him is going to be Rami and losing to you on the Witch Doctor and the Earthshaker respectively here. And it looks like they're going to run into the Bristleback first here. And whether or not they're going to be able to get the kill. There's the Snowball going out, the stun, the follow-up Snowball. Do they have anything else? No, a beautiful Fissure. Just as I was saying, the Fissure would be absolutely key in these Snowball ganks. And nice little disengage there. Cask as well. So there you go. That just shows how difficult it's going to be to get off a Snowball gank here. I would have liked maybe one to be a little bit more cheeker, come through up here. Maybe grab somebody, sit in the Ancients, wait till somebody walks by. But no big deal. They at least get a nice ward down here for Centaur that none of the supports could have really seen in place. And they get a little bit of mana as well. Especially from the Earthshaker, who does have 3 Clarities actually. So not going to be too big of an issue for him. And they're actually going to get both Bounty Runes here. So Killsteel Express a little afraid of what could have still been in their jungle. Didn't post up too much here. And then in turn, they just all walk to top rune, and Team Turbo grabbed the rune, so nice little pickup for them at the very least. You know, they did lose out on not getting that gank, but they make up for it by getting both bounty runes here. And Vengeful Spirit looks like she maybe went for a little bit of a fake out there. It's already the sentry ward being placed down here from the Radiant, but that doesn't actually block it. That's actually where you usually put the sentry ward if you want to unblock it there. As it looks like it will be a mid lane Tusk, a safe lane Dragon Knight alongside the Dazzle and the Vengeful Spirit here. And bot lane is just going to be a solo Centaur. He's going to have a little bit of a tough time here up against the Bristleback. He's going to be wanting to ferry out that wand as quickly as possible. I'm surprised he didn't grab it right away. Maybe not expecting... Well, he should have expected the Bristleback safe lane here, but no big deal. And I think this mid lane is going to be a huge win for the Storm Spirit here. And that's going to be a little bit of an issue for Team Trash here. So they do know that the ward... Or no, actually, it's just the observers pinging out the ward there. It does block the camp, and that's a little bit of a mistake in my opinion. Usually you want to put the ward somewhere where it won't block the camp, because as somebody on Dire, when you see this camp is blocked, you're pretty certain that there's a ward there. You know, obviously the hero didn't just walk there every whatever minute to block the camp, but not too big of a deal. Hopefully for Killsteel Express here. Spot lane, Logi still having a little bit of a difficult time finally getting returned to make it a little bit tougher for the enemies to harass him as well. So looks like he's getting ready to start to stack camps here. Most likely for the Dragon Knight. Phoenix, though, getting quite low at about 90 HP, just barely getting out there. Dragon Knight level 2 hasn't scaled just yet, not 100% sure. So some nice stacking going on here for the Dire so far. Radiant, not so much, though. They haven't done anything just yet. Looks like they perhaps pulled there, or did they block their own camp accidentally? I believe they did there. Don't think so. Maybe just barely. Looks like they could have blocked their own camp here. Haste Rune getting pinged out by the Witch Doctor here. And Venge is going to get another Bounty Rune top lane for her. So after buying early boots, she's got a nice bit of gold here. Enough to upgrade the courier in about 30 seconds when need be. And looks like they're just going to rotate mid lane onto Storm Spirit immediately here. Do they have the kill potential? There's the stun. The Storm's going to pull the Tuskar in here. Do they have anything more? No, it looks like the cask is going to prevent the gank, and maybe Storm could turn around and get a kill. There it is. First blood actually going over here to Plague Spreading Platypus. So Rami getting a nice haste rune, column S4, but a good rotation from him is going to ensure the first blood going to the Storm Spirit, and that's a little bit unfortunate. Now Ronin getting quite low as well. He's got to be careful. Looks like Plague Spreading Platypus getting just barely on the edge of the tower range there. Not tanking a hit. Nice bit of play from him here. Top lane, Rust and Wost. Both just sitting in lane Rust, really just harassing out this. Wow, just look at the damage from her alone here on the Vengeful Spirit. Doesn't opt for the Wave of Terror. Instead, just going to get the Aura here to increase whatever damage capabilities she has. As look at both these right next to each other. And they don't know that they actually blocked the camp. Very unfortunate. I hope if they watch this after, they're not going to slap themselves in the head here. But they actually blocked the camp themselves with this ward. It must just barely be on the edge. But they did actually block the camp themselves. So very unfortunate for them. And they're not even going to be able to spot this Observer ward with that Sentry runes. Or with that Sentry ward, excuse me. And they certainly could have if they would have just put it back a little bit more. Look, he's cutting down all these trees, wasting his tangos as well. Very unfortunate over here for Killsteel Express. So they did get the first blood, but their supports are wasting a little bit of time here. Runes are getting pinged out over here as Storm Spirit is going to grab up the bounty here. The Illusion Rune is going to be the pickup here for Russ if he wants to get it. Probably just going to secure it over here for Ronin, and that looks like it is going to be what he's going to do. And meanwhile, Ronin does have his brown boots now, so we'll be a little bit safer in this mid lane here up against the Storm Spirit, and we'll have to see how this late gear, this game's going to start playing out here. It's, you know, once the Dire has a couple items, I imagine they'll want to start taking the fights over to Killsteel Express, who, in my opinion, have a much better late game over here with the Storm, the Bristleback, the Witch Doctor ultimate skill so well into that late game. And, you know, once they get the blink on the Centaur, perhaps they're going to be going for the mech on the Dragon Knight, I think would probably be the best option. You get the mech on the Dragon Knight, the urn on the Dazzle. You leave it to the Tuskar to do, you know, a lot of your burst damage. You've got the damage aura from the Venge as well. So I think a mech would be good. It allows you to push with the dragon form, and you've got the mech to kind of take the fights around that alongside the urn and whatever heals from Dazzle. I think that would be definitely the best way to itemize this game. And then you really start pressuring the Storm, who, against a mechanism, isn't very useful at all. I say this in a lot of my casts, that a Storm Spirit does get, I don't want to say heavily countered, but it makes his game a lot harder here when he's got to deal with that mechanism. You know, it's harder for him to burst a hero, and if he can't get somebody off that initial use of mana, then he's not all too effective in team fights. Usually he has to burn through, you know, depending on the kill, maybe 60-ish% of his mana, sometimes even 70% of his mana if he wants to zip in, get the Vortex. You know, you're spamming out the Static Remnant as well here. So if they do choose to get an early mechanism on the Dragon Knight, it could be a very nice pickup here. But we'll have to see exactly what he wants to go. He does have 1,300 gold saved up. Could maybe just go for a Midas here and try to secure the late game. That way, you know, they're thinking maybe, hey, we've got a Teskar. We've got a ridiculous amount of burst damage here if we want to use it. Ronin, unfortunately, missing a couple last hits there, but not too big of a deal. Have we continued to stack? Yes, we have. So we've now got a 3-stack on this large camp. That's it so far, which isn't all too bad. It's better than what Radiant has, I believe here. They are denying a lot more out of the Centaur. He's actually got his level 6 minutes in, so apparently not enough compared to the level 4 of this Phoenix. So already level 6 on the Centaur, and that's huge. If they're not really paying attention, they could get some early kills. The Phoenix does have a nice escape alongside the Storm Spirit, so very tough heroes to gank. And you know, when you see this, you know, early game, they have a lot to dodge fights, but it doesn't feel like they have a lot to take fights with. Even the Supernova early on isn't that strong. It's pretty easy to lose out to that. And is he actually going to go down here? He didn't use dive. I thought I heard him use dive there. That would have been absolutely massive if he stunned him during dive. And Rush should maybe be holding on to that stun. It's kind of hard. It's a slow traveling stun, in all honesty. So if he dives, you might not catch him until like halfway through it anyways. But Phoenix again being bullied out of the lane. Does at least have a Tranquil Boost, so won't be returning home for any reason, as we do have a smoke getting picked up here for the Vengeful Spirit. Do like that. Gonna perhaps try to pressure bot lane, I think would be your best bet here, even though it is a Bristleback. He is maxing Quills, does have quite a bit of armor as well, with 7 armor right now, and it looks like they're actually going to come up right behind this Phoenix here. Do they know where she is? I believe they do. They have this lane ward that sees her walk into the lane there. And look, she actually stops the dive a little bit. Well, I mean, that's as far as she could have gone, but that's going to be a kill for the Vengeful Spirit. So Rust, a very rich support right now, getting a couple bounty runes, a nice rotation on this top lane, going to secure him a kill as well. So pretty huge. They also get a TP in over here from Rami, which means that Centaur can have a little bit of an easier time. Bot lane does finally grab a stick alongside his Tranquil Boots as well, so that's going to be a nice pickup for him. And we've got the Phase Boots over here on the Teskar, so he's going to be able to start putting on some pressure as well, as it's going to be a little bit scary with that ultimate. Centaur getting some nice CS as well as XP under tower now. This is not where you want to see the creep wave when you're in the safe lane, especially because this next creep wave is going to be moving up as well. So Centaur able to soak up so much XP in this lane. Level 7.5 now. He's probably going to get close to 8, if not 8, probably off this creep wave here. He's going to miss a couple CS, just barely off of 8 there. As it looks like there was a smoke mid. There's the snowball going. Do that. Wow. That was incredible amounts of damage. Ronin, is he going to be the one to pay with his life here? It looks like no, the Dazzle's there with the heals, and that was a lot more damage than I first saw there. I thought the Storm could have just zipped away, perhaps thinking he could outlast the snowball for a bit, wanted to keep them, you know, a little bit closer for the Earthshaker and the Witch Doctor, or maybe wasn't ready for that, but that was some immense damage over here. As we're having a TP in from the Earthshaker, they see Rust coming up from behind. Rust could go down here. The Fissure, not enough mana for a Fissure though, so really not sure what this Earthshaker is going to do other than maybe punch him. Meanwhile, the Dragon Knight does have Dragon Form, is going to use it. The dive was spent over here on this Phoenix, and now they're just going to go over here and settle for the Earthshaker. Does have Fissure mana if he wants to spend it. There it is, but with the Dragon Knight on the wrong side of the Fissure, should be able to secure this kill, and the Dragon Knight treads in 2,000 gold. We'll see if the mechanism is going to be the pick up this game. Still waiting to spend that just yet. 10 minutes in, it could still certainly be a Midas. It's not too late just yet. As we do have Ronin over here running to get a nice regen rune for himself. Probably going to throw out a couple ice shards before he goes to use that, as he's going to pick up a magic wand next up. And bot lane, it is surprisingly, well, I mean, I expected that the Storm Spirit would run this mid lane here, but I didn't expect the Bristle to really control the bot lane this much. But still, the Centaur got quite a bit. He's 25 for 6 actually, up against the 11 for nil of this Phoenix here top lane. So 11 for 1, just as I say that actually, but still not the greatest. Phoenix actually diving in and getting some harass out over here onto the Dragon Knight. Has to be careful as she won't have the dive for another 30 seconds. We do have the ultimate bot lane. It looks like they want to make a go over here onto the Bristleback, who does spend his mango here. And Logi's got to be careful. Now there's the Fissure going to land on 2. Logi, is he going to go down? Candace getting very aggressive now. They do have a TP in up here from the Vegetable Spirit. Is she going to be able to get the kill now? The Bristleback getting very low. There's the stun out, going to secure the kill. The Snowball back in. Over here to losing U to U here. Now the Earthshaker could go down. Does use the enchant totem, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be a double kill, and they're dominating over here to Russ. The Witch Doctor's coming in as well, but look, the Dazzle's here to greet him. There's the swap back. Rami's got to be careful. Way out of position, and look at the damage from the Tuskar. Half HP down to none. Ronan going to use the ultimate, and Storm Spirit looked like he wanted to rotate in, but not going to be able to do so. Line's getting drawn out here from the Earthshaker saying, yeah, you went the wrong way, buddy. So what looked like it could have been a nice turnaround, they only managed to secure Logi, and instead they lose pretty well their entire bot lane. And Candace now, what is he doing? He's got to be quite careful. They've got the heals from the Dazzle, taking so much damage. So what? Is he going to go down? No, Ronan, is he going to go down here? The Phoenix is dumping up. She's got dive. The smoke is going to be used. Ronan, is he going to go down? No, going to miss everything on Ronan. Russ and Wost are both going to take a little bit of damage. Wost perhaps going to be the one to die here. Still with Shallow Grave though, and Ronan getting incredibly aggressive now. Gonna throw out the ice shards, not gonna hit on anything. Looked like he wanted to go on the Phoenix, who was quite low, but Ronan just returned home, buddy. He's gonna be looking to grab, I imagine, could be a Battle Fury, most likely gonna be a Silver Edge, as we do have the Shadow Blade picked up from the Dragon Knight. So is it gonna be a double Shadow Blade game? Would be quite odd. Definitely, we can see that already that they can fight quite well early game, but imagine if they have a mech and they would just 5-man. How do you defend against that as the Radiant? You've got nothing on your Bristle other than a Vanguard. You've got really nothing on your Phoenix other than almost an Urn. You're up against a dominating Venge who's already got a medallion 12 minutes in. A medallion and 740 gold is absolutely massive. Logi's going to have his Blink Dagger and about 1,000 gold. And really, I think if you just push and help him get that 1,000 gold, it's going to be so difficult. Meanwhile, there's the Snowball in onto the Storm Spirit, going to force him to use some of his mana, and then they're just going to walk away. So not a big loss for them. Vengeful Spirit is going to pick up the Illusion Rune and send them towards mid lane here, as she's just going to walk through the river, looking to finish up treads for herself here. Losing U to U, actually buying the full Magic Wand. Not sure that's the best option here, as usually you can just get away with the Magic Stick, save the other, you know, few hundred gold, whatever it is, and just spend it towards getting your boots a little bit earlier on there. As the bonus from the Magic Wand isn't that great. A couple more charges, and, you know, a little bit of stats, but, you know, +4 attributes compared to getting an earlier boots, especially as somebody like an Earthshaker, who's very important to get those boots. And there's the swap back under tower over here from Candace, and it looks like the Tuskar as well as the Centaur are looking to cut him off here. He's got to be careful with where he goes. Is he going to be able to get the TP out? Does he have the stun over here on Venge? No, just barely going to miss it. So a nice little juke here from Candace. Got to ensure that he doesn't die, but looks like the bottom tower is getting pinged out. Dragon Knight still pressuring top lane. Doesn't get a kill with that Shadow Blade either, so you know, not that I want to be, you know, so harsh on these guys, but usually when you buy something like a Shadow Blade or a Blink, the very first, you know, use or showing of it, you want to get a kill. You want to rotate on somebody. Like you Shadow Blade, you use your Dragon form, you Shadow Blade, you walk up to the Storm, you stun him, and hopefully you've got, you know, the Venge and the Snowball behind you that you're able to get a kill here. And look at that, they're going to go right on here. Logi with the Invis Rune, going to be able to spot out Candace, and that's going to ensure that they can get the Snowball in. And just look at that cask bounce. If only they had a follow-up, that would have been absolutely massive. And again, that's what's so scary about Snowball. They don't have the ultimate on Earthshaker, but if they did, that would have been a lost team fight almost certainly here. As we've had 6 on both supports here for the Dire for quite a while. So Team Trash, we'll take a look at the net worth and EXP advantage here. At about 6k net worth, EXP around the same, so not too bad if we take a look at you know, who's leading the charts as well here. It looks like the Dragon Knight, he's not too far up on the Storm Spirit. Surprisingly, we do still have this stack that maybe they forgot about, but Storm Spirit farming quite well. He's just kind of sat mid for quite a while this game, and Dragon Knight only about 500 up. Tuskar quite far behind though. He's at you know, 5.8. No, I guess not quite far behind. You'd like to see him a little bit higher here, but you know, it's not going to be the biggest deal whatsoever. Last hit, Storm and Dragon Knight very close to each other in terms of last hits though, as we do have a smoke up here. Logie, he smoked as well. Almost has his Blink Dagger. They probably should have just waited for Blink in daytime to use this smoke, as usually smoking at a time like this, the smoke pops at like 1300, and you know, nighttime vision for most people is like 800, but it looks like they're ready to go in the Bristle here, who's unfortunately going to walk in a lane, and just look at all the heroes. He's going to blow up almost certainly. The Phoenix is going to dive in. He's got Supernova ready. Maybe if they just all look to hit it, and it looks like they will. No, the Fissure perhaps going to be enough. There's the cast bouncing. Is it going to be enough? No, they don't have the Death Ward to channel inside of it, and they're all just going to run away. Only a 1-for-2 trade there. 2 cores for only the Dazzle. Meanwhile, Russ, is he going to go down? He actually is going to die. He's going to give up a dominating here. And it's going to go to the Storm Spirit as well. It's actually a mega kill for about 500 gold going to the Storm Spirit, who's going to be able to now finish up his Orchid. And that was pretty huge. I'm not sure why Russ didn't just run with the rest of his team there. Perhaps a little scared, or perhaps a little bit cocky there. Nonetheless, a slight mistake from him. It's going to help propel this Storm Spirit a little bit further into the game, especially with how well he's been farming so far here. Some nice aggressive vision over here from the Dire. Do they have a ward up here? No, the Radiant's going to put their wards up there. If I was the Radiant, I would certainly expect the Dire to place a ward here. And maybe that's what they were thinking after that snowball, but the Dire only has the ward bot lane, so not too much vision. Radiant with some very safe wards, though. The only one they're missing perhaps is the one in their jungle, but they can at least see people rotating over here. And they do catch that. No, does he not actually catch that Observer ward? It looks like he doesn't, so Woos not going to be able to catch that Observer ward there. Perhaps not seeing it. We are getting a couple pings out here from the Witch Doctor saying, hey, there's a couple in our jungle. Or at the very least, the Dazzle's behind the Centaur, and there it is. Ping him out saying, okay, now he's in lane. Again, the Sentry ward right by this Observer ward. The Dazzle just barely missing that, unfortunately for him. And we're going to have some TPs out here. So maybe just not feeling right here. They see that nobody's top lane. They see that nobody's pushing on mid lane. And that's going to be a nice little bit of game knowledge. I mean, when you've got mid lane just barely at the river and nobody there, when you've got top lane pushing in and nobody's starting to defend it, then that's pretty nice as well. And we've got the Dragon Form, Dragon Knight, already with the, looks like he's going to be going into an AC next. Perhaps a Mjolnir, but I'd imagine the AC next. Going to get the Hyperstone first. We don't see that all too often. And just look at the armor on him right now. 26 armor and only 2 points into his passive. Could have even more here, but with that medallion as well as the weave, it's going to be absolutely huge. Keep on going. We're at about almost 40 armor now. And finally going to drop down, but if only they had a mech here, would have been making pushing this tower so much easier here. But again, they're just giving this Dragon Knight so armor. There's the cask finally going to go out and bounce here. Is it going to be enough? All these heroes are grouping together now. This could be absolutely disastrous. The Phoenix is going to go in. There's the dive. Supernova is going to be able to land. Not even going to be able to land. It looks like Platypus is going to go over here on the rest. Not going to be able to secure the kill. Centaur is going to spend the ultimate. The Aqua Slim actually going to secure a couple kills there as well. So that's very important for them. But only a 3-for-3 trade so far. And it looks like they're going to be able to get more over here on the side of the Dire. Loki's going to blink up. Does have the stop. Just barely going to be able to catch the Witch Doctor. There's a triple kill for Ronin. Can they continue to pressure the tower? The creep wave a little bit far away, unfortunately, for them. Not going to be able to get too much off of that. And again, no mech for either team here just yet. Quite disastrous. I think a mech on this Dragon Knight would have been absolutely huge. I don't think he's really used that Shadow Blade all too much, but nevertheless, they're still winning 13-7. They got to be a little bit careful here. The Phoenix still with the Supernova. It looks like they're going to go right in on it. There's the Snowball. She's going to die almost instantly. Not expecting that type of burst damage or that type of CC. Looks like the Fissure perhaps going to be able to secure them and deny, but no. There's the TP in from the Bristleback, and Shadow Blade on Ronin, going to be able to secure himself a getaway, or is he? The dust did get used here, but I don't think they'll be able to catch up to him, and he's just going to run away here. As Loki, you're going to pick up a haste rune and run all the way home here. So a nice little grab, a 4-for-3 team fight, as well as a tower going the way of the Dire. So slowly but surely increasing their lead up to about 8k now. terms of net worth. EXP, probably close, but more closer to 7K, I would say here, but they're starting to rotate bot lane now, and perhaps looking for this tower. If only they had a ward on the river, they'd see this DD. I think the big thing about having a Vengeful Spirit with such an early medallion, as well as the aura, and is that, oh, nice D ward there from the Witch Doctor, just watching the Venge ward up there. But I think the best part of having this Venge is that you can get an early Roshan here. Unfortunately, they're not going to be going for it, but looks like Dragon Knight ready to pressure this bottom tower. The rest of the Radiant rotating up. They are going to get a nice pick on the Storm Spirit, which should force them to continue to pressure this tower. They have got no Storm. They see the Bristleback top lane. Does he have his TP at least? Yes, he does. Just barely coming off cooldown now, but I don't know if they can defend this, as Logi does blink in. Get fissured up there, and just look at the damage onto this tower right now. You are giving everybody a little bit of damage, 12% bonus damage, which is quite nice. They're going to continue to pressure bot lane here. As top tower is still intact for the Dire. If they want to TP to it and save it as well, they can, but I don't even know if they're going to be able to get it here. Actually, the creeps should be enough to get it. They do have a Fortify, and it looks like the Dire, they're going to rotate to mid lane now, and that's going to be their next target. Dragon Knight going to start getting off a little bit of damage here. Backdoor regen is going to keep it up to its regular HP, though, so not going to be all too effective here, as the Phoenix is looking to get out whatever attack speed slow he can. Going to throw out some of the spirits. There's the cask being tossed out as well. The blink out from Logi to ensure that he doesn't get clipped by that cask. And there's the BKB from the Tuskar, which is going to be quite scary now for the Radiant. They don't have too much that's going to go through the BKB here, and this is when the game gets pretty dangerous. Logi just going to grab some neutral camps from his enemy here. Try to reduce whatever farm they can get. Storm Spirit is going to at least stack a camp, though, so make up for whatever Logi's going to deny them. And he finishes up his Force Staff now, as well as finding a nice bounty rune. So the Dire, despite being so far ahead, has very little map control, I guess you could say. You know, the bot lane's pushing in, the mid lane pushing in, top lane not pushing in for them, but they've got very little ward coverage here. And are they gathering to smoke, it looks like? Or maybe just gathering to ward up a little bit here. Is the AC just about completed over here on the DK. Just about 400 gold off. And another item that they can certainly use to pressure these towers. The DK going to be hitting so hard. Going to have that negative armor. That attack speed is going to be huge as well. And now we're going to get a nice little D-ward here from the Dire. And did they just place another ward? What just happened there? I'm not sure, but the cask is bouncing around, and that's going to be quite deadly over here. Wost is going to go down. Does he have the grave for himself? Not even going to be able to pop it. Ronin is going to use the BKB. It looks like the Phoenix is going to go down. There's the ultimate used by the Storm Spirit as well as by the Centaur. War Runner, almost a full death ward duration going to go off there as well, which is absolutely huge. Ronin, can he deny the neutrals? Yes, he can. Still, it's absolutely huge. There's the Echo Slam being used as well. Russ with a nice swap over here to Logi, going to help keep him alive a little bit longer. Candace, though, he's going to go down as well, but Logi's got to be careful. So does Russ. Have to be so careful. They're both going to live. A nice fissure to almost secure a couple kills. A D-ward as well going out there, which is pretty huge. And the Dragon Knight just going to man up against the Ancients here and grab his completed AC. Or not completed AC just yet. Grabbing the courier for himself, but not a completed AC. And whenever we get a silver edge on one of these heroes, it's going to be pretty huge as well to disable this Bristleback passive. As well as, you know, even disable the Aftershock passive perhaps here. But more importantly, if anybody grabs a silver edge, disabling this bristle passive is going to be pretty huge as well in terms of, you know, winning a fight. He's still got the Vanguard. I don't believe, I think it's just abilities. I don't think it's item passives that it disables as well. So nice little pick up from them. They are going to get this D ward on the sentry here. No observer ward though for them to grab, and they'll probably just throw out their observer somewhere on this cliff, maybe right here. Or on this cliff, yeah, so a nice little observer ward for them. There is a regen rune there if anybody wants to grab it. Dragon Knight does have the finished up AC, and if the Dire doesn't Rosh anytime soon, I think that'll be a huge mistake, especially seeing this Bristle top lane. I would probably go and just go for the Roshan right now. You've got so much negative armor. Are they just going to smoke in? I think so, as they only smoke 2, so they do smoke in despite knowing that there's no ward there. Although there could have been one up here, but I think it ends like somewhere around here, so they wouldn't have seen it. But there we go. They're going to be able to use this negative armor. They've got quite a few heroes showing on the map, so they're not going to be expecting them to Rosh here. So a nice sneaky Rosh, and this is what I mean with the Venge here. The negative armor, as well as the damage boost here. She's got the early medallion, although it's not too early by now. It's 25 minutes in, and it looks like the Dire is just going to be going up and up here. 12k net worth advantage. Did not expect it to jump to that much here, and EXP close to that as well, at about 11k here. So a nice place from them so far. They do give the Aegis to the Dragon Knight. They are picking up the regen rune, saying, hey, pick it up, somebody. Looks like they're going to bottle around a little bit here. And just give it over here to Ronan. Gonna give him the bottle? No, okay. So a little bit of maybe miscommunication or uncertainty there. Weren't sure if they're going to give the bottle to DK to grab the regen rune or what was going to happen, but Team Trash going to look to push mid now, and going to be very hard for the Radiant to defend this with the Aegis, the AC, the BKB. They've got the Glimmer Cape going on here as well, the Force Staff. It looks like Aghanim Scepter is going to be the pickup here soon for the Centaur, which is going to be pretty disgusting. Just allow you to move through whatever the heck you want here. Actually, huge attack speed over here between the Treads, the Shadow Blade, and the AC. Just look at the armor right now. And he doesn't even have the weave on him just yet. I think they just pop weave low ground on all of their heroes and continue to push with that. They won't have the Dragon ulti, which is a little bit unfortunate. They're actually going to TP out here on the Centaur Warrunner, so maybe not liking it all too much, saying, guys, let's farm up just a little bit more. Is anybody close to an item? It doesn't look like it. Maybe they want to wait for the Centaur eggs and do a really cheeky play where they come up, you know, from the side here and come up from behind. I would like to see that, actually. That would be a lot of fun. Dragon, I should probably grab that illusion rune, as you do get those dragon illusions. But they're just going to give it to Russ over here, and no big deal. I would like to see the Dire picking up a gem as well here, just when you're ahead and you can limit any map vision. If you grab a nice gem, especially 27 minutes in, it's going to be absolutely devastating for the Radiant here. It's going to be tough. I mean, look at how poor this Earthshaker is. It's going to be hard for him to buy wards, and then every ward he buys that you can deward is just huge into giving you some more map presence, and it's demoralizing as well when you see the enemy team have a gem, and even sometimes it forces you to do things you probably shouldn't. We do have the Shadow Blade up. There's the Snowball, the Centaur ulti as well. Didn't have enough damage. I guess that answers the question. The Tuskar ulti absolutely huge. Rami though getting a little bit too close. There's the swap, going to be saved perhaps by those ice shards, but it looks like no, Candace going to be the next one to go down here as well, and it looks like this could be the high ground push here. The Dazzle's up here as well now, and starting to get some visual glitches here. Usually happens in VODs. We've been lucky this game to not have it happen all too bad here just yet, as Ronan going to be the one to jump up here and punch the tower, despite the Dragon Knight having already getting up there 40 plus armor here now, and going to be having probably 50 armor. How much physical damage resistance is he at? 73, 74. Give the man 75% maybe. 75% physical damage resistance. So that is absolutely ridiculous in terms of how much damage you're doing to this guy. He's just going to stun up and right click him down. That's all he needs here. Level 3 Dragon form, and this should be the end over here from Killsteel Express. A nice game from Team Turbo. A nice draft. I actually thought that this Witch Doctor would be able to do a little bit more, but they played around it pretty well. They almost got caught a couple times, but it just came down to the early game here where Team Trash took a big enough advantage. And speaking of that, it looks like they're going to burn the Aegis here on the Dragon Knight. Not the hero you want to burn. There's the Snowball though. Look at that, 2 kills already. Dragon Knight shallow graved up. He's going to be able to survive. There's the Echo Slam actually going to land up for the buyback from the Storm Spirit. Is it going to be enough? Loki and Russ both so low right now. There's the Aegis finally being popped. Ronan trying to run out of the base. There's the Supernova. Going to spam up and stun over here on Saltenbank. And Ronan just going to continue to right click. There's the stun again from the Snowball. The Walrus Punch doing so much damage. Candace though, is he going to be able to get the kill on Ronan? He should be able to. There's the blink back in from Logi. Going to be doing quite a bit of damage. Dragon Knight going to be able to get the one last right click onto the buyback here. And it looks like they may be able to get out here after Candace not able to chase. And what a team fight that was. They did lose 4 though, and they did have to buy back on, I think, 2. Yeah, they bought back on the Phoenix and the Storm there, I believe. So the double dieback, and now the Dragon Knight with 5.7k. Honestly, you could just buy a heart and be probably unkillable at that point. Could buy a Mjolnir and just hit incredibly hard. And a BKB, another great idea there. There's the Aghanim Scepter going to be picked up over here on the Centaur. And That just means that these team fights are going to be, you have to be so careful. Anywhere you are is not safe. Whether it's beside a cliff, behind trees, anywhere you are, absolutely terrifying. And what do we have for this Witch Doctor? Just a smoke and a dust. He's got a ward left as well if he wants to spend that somewhere, but Dragon Knight still with 1.8k, so we'll see if he wants to clear out some creeps and just pick up a crit to get a little bit more, get another, one item before you go to push to the end. And with the attack speed as well as the negative armor, I think a crit would be pretty nice here. Got some nice Dragon Knight animations here. Now that, we've started to get past the 30-minute mark, this is when the VODs just start to break down. Source 2, please fix a lonely caster who likes to cast VODs, and don't let me down here. Is Logi blinking into the enemy jungle here. Perhaps just looking again to steal some of their neutral camps, feeling pretty confident in his Aghanim Scepter. Could just pop eggs and jump up right here, jump up through these trees, pretty much go wherever he wants here. Is there anything else? Oh yes, they take reduced damage as well, quite a bit of reduced damage. So about 60% damage reduction. With the bonus armor, that means no physical damage is going to go through that. And when you've got a lot of physical damage, that's not the thing you'd like to hear here. There's the weave going out on all 5 heroes, I believe. Actually, no, it missed the Venge. Got everybody else here, but the weave's there. Oh gosh. 10 armor from that as well. Even the Centaur here with like 30 armor. Dragon Knight getting a little bit scared. Doesn't want to go up just yet. The Bristleback is top lane though, so if they want to pressure, they may as well do it now. Does pick up the Crimson Guard to try and reduce whatever physical damage. There's a nice stun. Gonna hold him though. The blink over here on the workspace. Gonna instantly pop him before he can get the supernova out. Rami's gonna get stunned up as well as the swap back. It looks like the Storm Spirit's trying to go over here on the Salting Bank, but he's not gonna be able to go down. Candace jumping in the middle of the BKB. A huge Aqua Slam actually, but losing you to you, but it's not gonna be enough. All these heroes are way too tanky. The bonus reduction, I believe, from the Aghanim Scepter Centaur was still on there as well. The snowball going over here, and there's the GG from the Bristleback. Candace calling a game 5 for 1. Only the Dazzler gonna go down here, and good game, well played. So a nice game over here from both teams, Team Trash and Killsteel Express. I did really like both drafts. I think Team Trash came out a little bit ahead. I thought Killsteel Express would be able to do a lot more, with the cast bounces and stuff like that. Perhaps just a little bit off their positioning. Some unfortunate, counter warding that game from them. They blocked their own camp and spent a little bit long on it. But nevertheless, a good game. Nice quick one, 32 minutes in. Probably about 40-ish, 40-some, 45 with the draft. But thanks again, guys, for watching. Please, I have a little clip at the end of this video that goes over some more stuff I do. And if you want to check out my other videos, you could do that as well. I cast a lot of RD2L lately. I've been loving RD2L. So thanks again for watching, and have a good one, guys. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to check out some of my other videos. I have my series from lane to lane where I just cast some everyday pubs that you guys send me. I also do some more professional pubs like games from Koikva, Miracle, whoever I can get my hands on from Dodobuff. I have a learning series as well, so feel free to check that out. There's some more info in the description as well as some videos linked in the annotations at the end here. Thanks a lot.